Okay, so whenever we think about the absolute legends of human history, Michael Jackson's name is pretty much right there at the top, right? The undisputed king of pop. But today, in this explainer, we're going to look way past all the glitz, the glamour, and those shiny platinum records. We're diving into the really surprising truth of what actually built that historic legacy. Let's get right into it. I mean, his voice, his gravity-defying dance moves, it was like watching pure magic. He completely shocked the world. But let's stop and ask ourselves a really crucial question here. What was his ultimate secret? Was it just, well, magic? Or was there something way more deliberate going on behind the scenes? So let's start by uncovering the real secret to his success. We really need to strip away our assumptions here and tackle the biggest myth about his legendary status. Most folks just assume his success was, pure, unadulterated talent, like he was just born absolutely perfect. But looking at the source text, it reveals his real superpower wasn't just raw talent, not even close. It was actually the relentless habit of practicing and obsessing over getting better every single day, no matter what. That brings us perfectly to his absolute, unshakable dedication. Just picture his childhood for a second. What does a normal kid's day look like? Usually they're outside playing, goofing off, just having a blast. But for young Michael, it was a totally different world. From a super young age, while other kids were out playing, he was already putting in hours and hours of brutal rehearsal. He figured out early on that being the absolute best meant doing exactly what others just weren't willing to do. Now, fast forward a few years, we're looking at a guy who hit the absolute peak of fame. We're talking millions of fans globally, selling out massive stadiums in literally minutes. But here's the crazy part. Even with all that global validation, his mindset, it didn't change one single bit. Even at the very top of his game, he'd still rehearse for hours before every new show. Think about that for a second. He's already the king of pop. But he never fell into that trap of thinking, oh, I'm way too successful to practice now. He never thought he could just coast. He put in the grueling, exhausting hours before every single curtain call. Actually, someone once asked him straight up, why does the greatest artist in the world still practice so much? And his response was just brilliant. He said, if I stop practicing, I won't be the same. He totally understood that greatness isn't some permanent trophy you just put on a shelf. It's a condition you have to maintain with constant, unyielding effort. The second the effort stops, the greatness fades. Okay, so what is the importance of all this in your own life? Let's break it down. How does his philosophy actually apply to us? Well, the source points out this huge trap we pretty much all fall into, the quitting trap. You know how it is, it's human nature to dream big. We all want massive success. But the trap is that we get disappointed and we just throw in the towel on the hard work when we don't see results overnight. We want the view from the top of the mountain, but we don't really want to do the climb. But MJ's story proves that overnight success, yeah, it's a complete illusion. So how do we actually break out of that trap? Look, if you want to improve your grades, try studying just 1 hour a day with total zero distraction focus. Want to get stronger? Exercise just a little bit, but do it every single day. Or maybe you want to be a great content creator. Make videos daily. The big takeaway here is that tiny, compounding daily efforts, that is the actual, realistic roadmap to massive success. It's never about one giant leap. It's about those consistent daily steps. Because, let's be real, there are absolutely no shortcuts to greatness. Zero. The path to success runs straight through daily hard work and discipline. Michael Jackson knew there were no cheat codes. And look, if the greatest entertainer of our lifetime had to rely on daily discipline, well, it kind of means discipline is non-negotiable for the rest of us too. Moving right along to another crucial piece of the puzzle, the habit of continuous learning. You see, physical practice was only half the battle. Even when he was the undisputed ruler of the music industry, Michael never stopped learning. He was never completely satisfied with his past wins. He didn't just sit back, put his feet up, and admire his old hit records. Nope. He was always laser-focused on figuring out how to make his next performance even better than the last one. That relentless drive to innovate, that's exactly why his art still feels so incredibly alive today. Which brings us to a really powerful concept, making today better than yesterday. So how do we start living this starting right now? We really need to shift our mindset. Competing with everyone else around you, it's a total trap.
it just leads to endless frustration and ego trips. The real secret is competing with the person you were yesterday. Stop comparing your behind-the-scenes struggles to everyone else's shiny highlight reel. Just focus on being 1% better today than you were yesterday. That is the true hallmark of mastery.
There's this fantastic quote from the source material that just hits the nail on the head. Successful people don't do different things, they do things differently and with full dedication. I absolutely love that. It's not about hunting down some magical new task. It's about bringing a completely different, fully committed energy to the things you're already doing every single day. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want this core truth to sink in. Yeah, talent is important for sure, but continuous hard work, ironclad discipline, and daily practice, those are way, way more powerful. Make a deal with yourself today. No matter how wildly ambitious your dream is, promise yourself that you're going to put in those small, disciplined efforts every single day. Because eventually, those tiny actions snowball into something truly extraordinary. So, to kickstart your own journey toward mastery, I want to leave you with one final thought. What is one small step you will take today for your big dream? Seriously, think about it right now. Better yet, write it down. And then, go out and actually do it. Thanks so much for tuning into this explainer. Keep learning, keep pushing yourself, and we'll catch you next time.